Hey guys, AlphaSequel here. Some months back I answered the age-old question of who would win in a fight, a billion lions or every Pokemon. And if you haven't seen that video, you should go watch it. If you want a short summary because you're lazy, Pokemon win in lore through tons of ways thanks to the existence of godlike, universe-destroying entities that even scale beyond the concept of infinity. But there's a huge disconnect between what actually happens in the games and what happens in lore. So to prevent the bias from jumping back and forth between rules, I split up the lore and game mechanics into two distinct conversations. And for the game conversation, I aim to solve it using a massive team battle with Pyros and Litleos on one side, subbing in for the Lions, and every single Pokemon on the other side. I changed as little about the game's mechanics as possible to make the battle work, which means I kept the fact that damaging spread moves do not always attack everything in a team battle, despite what horde battles may suggest. Then I spent 4 years on and off figuring out all the possible strategies until we hit a solved battle where both sides were doing everything in their power to win. During that solved battle, the best strategy for the Pokemon involved an elaborate Pairs trap, since Pairs Song is confirmed to hit the whole field no matter how big it is. Then the team used a mix of speed control, dig immunity, and soundproof to ensure at least one Pokemon survives until the end of turn 4, where the Pairs count ends, claiming victory for the Pokemon once and for all since the Pyro team had no available counter. That's a simple understanding of what happened, so if you have any questions that aren't addressed in this video, I recommend checking that one out in the link below. First off, I want to thank you guys for all the support. I can't overstate the amount of work I put in researching it, and I'm glad it performed as well as it did. That said, it doesn't matter how much autism you throw at a subject, if you show your math to over 400,000 people, you will quickly come across those smart enough to check your work. In science, we call this peer review and exists for a reason. Doesn't matter who you are or how many years you spent studying something, it's always possible to miss a few things and learn something new. Today is no exception. The comments have mentioned a number of things that might be able to get past my original strategy, most of which aren't real issues, but a few of them are worth talking about. One of the biggest topics is why I chose Pyro and Litleo as my Lions to begin with. Why not make a custom new Pokemon to fit a Lion's real-life traits? Why not use other Pokemon that resemble Lions, like Persian or Solgaleo? I have a simple answer to all these questions. That's not the point. I didn't make this choice because Pyros were close enough to Lions or that I consider them interchangeable. I made that choice because it's the closest possible in-game representation of them. Keywords being closest and in-game. No, I'm not going to give them less options to make it more accurate to what Lions are actually capable of, because the game's logic isn't accurate to real-world capabilities already. No, I'm also not going to give them significantly more options just because there's more than one Pokemon that looks like them. The idea is to make the battle happen with as few changes as possible to the in-game rules, because the more rules we change, the more bias we introduce. The options the Lions have access to will completely change the win conditions, so any answer I choose would directly influence the result. Nothing's stopping me from choosing options that favor one side, so I had to get the choice from the game itself because, while it's not perfect, the game would at least have the most consistent logic within itself. I picked Pyro, and I figured there wouldn't be a problem with that because Pyros are way stronger than Lions, so no one would complain that they're not strong enough, and since they still lose the fight, no one would complain that they're too strong. I should have known I was still going to get both complaints. Regardless, Pyro is just the optimal choice in my opinion. If you want them to be weaker, it's not going to change the result, and if you want them to be stronger in literally any way, then you're just denying reality. Which I get is kind of the whole meme of the debate, but I'm taking this super seriously, and I totally expect everyone in the comments to be serious as well. Next up, plenty of people have mentioned other games with different rule sets like Mystery Dungeon or Legends DA, or other rules within the main games like singles or doubles, and it kind of leads back into the bigger problem of no one agreeing on a rule set. Sure, if you look through enough different rule sets, you could find a rule set where the Lions win, or where the Pokemon win even harder, but again, that's not really the point of the exercise. The point is to find the least intrusive video game rule set that can actually represent the battle. None of the spin-offs or Legends games have every Pokemon in it, and even though Scarlet and Violet don't have the full roster either, the differences between mainline games are minimal and well documented, so we can reasonably predict how every Pokemon would behave in any given game. That's why Showdown can have a National Dex rule set. We can't really do that for Mystery Dungeon or Legends, so we're better off considering them non-existent for this battle, which includes new moves and mechanics like Mega Pyroar and Plus moves. Originally this video was going to come out prior to Pokemon Champions, but now that it's released, not only are Plus moves not in the game, but neither is Pyroar in general, so it's just irrelevant to the conversation. And even within Scarlet and Violet, no rule set is going to match the concept on its own. There's going to have to be some changes no matter what. I chose rules that I believe are the closest to accurately representing the nature of the battle in video game form, and within that rule set I only changed the rules that are necessary to change. If a real billion Lions fought every Pokemon, you really think they're going to sit there and go one or two at a time? Obviously not. Yes, I understand it's still not perfect. People have mentioned that trainers shouldn't exist, or a bigger field shouldn't exist, and there's honestly no right answer to that conversation. conversation. I can claim all day that my rule set is the most accurate, but if that really mattered, then these comments wouldn't exist. We'll just have to agree to disagree. Contrary to popular belief, when I made the rule set, my goal was not to make the Pokemon win. There was a good amount of time where I genuinely thought the Lions would win this fight. I just wanted to see it through until a winner was definitively chosen. So that's all the stuff that doesn't really affect the strategy, but it's surprising just how much actually does. Another common question is, what about level differences? A level 1 Litleo could easily underspeed the minimum level 30 Bastiodon. I knew about this before making the video, but in the spirit of only changing what's necessary, I decided on a level balance rule set because that's a typical PvP scenario. If that were the only issue with my strategy, I probably would have ignored it. So the fact that you're watching this video means that's not all. Lions can paralyze each other with Body Slam, creating a low but existing chance for each Litleo to be way slower than Bastiodon, even if they're the same level. Pyroar can also use Max Airstream or Max Strike to give extra speed control to their entire party, allowing them to outspeed our Haze user on turn 2 despite having Unburden. Pyroars can also use any Z move they want, which I genuinely didn't think they could do because as far as I remembered, you were restricted to either a Mega Evolution or a Z move in Gen 7. Turns out I was wrong, you can totally just use both, man I hate Mandela effects. So now we have to consider that Z moves can also damage through Protect. Then last but not least, Magic Room doesn't actually stop Quick Claw. Yes, you heard that right. Oh, but Seagull, I thought Quick Claw doesn't give him priority. Yeah, the Pokemon doesn't have priority. The activation of the item itself not only has priority, but it has something called special priority, which are things that always happen before the turn order even starts. This is reserved for stuff like Dynamaxing, switching out, and apparently activating Quick Claw. So even though Magic Room prevents it from activating on later turns, we still absolutely have to deal with it on the first turn, which really derailed the video for a while. With all this said, I needed a new strategy, and after several iterations and complete rewrites of the script, I finally got one. This new setup not only addresses a level difference problem, but all the other problems we talked about and then some brand new ones. Without further ado, let's introduce the final team to defeat the Lions. Klefki with Magic Room and Prankster, a Safeguard user with Prankster and a Normalian Z, any Crafty Shield user, 2 After You users, one of which needs to be fast with Endure, 1 Scary Face user with Prankster and Endure, Kingler with G-Max form and any water move, 2 Skill Swap Prankster users, a Trick Room user with Endure, any Ion Deluge user, a fast Electivire with Motor Drive, Dig, and Endure, any 5 slow Quick Attack users, that's a little counterintuitive, and last but not least, Murkrow with Prankster and Perish Song. The match starts off with 1 Pyroar Dynamaxing and our Kingler G-Maxing. A bunch of Quick Claws activate, but the Pyroars themselves are still not allowed to move. A bunch of Lions use Helping Hand to boost a bunch of other Lions. Some Lions attempt to use Snatch to steal buffs. That's going to be relevant in a bit. Our 4 Endure users will go ahead and use it, which will protect them even from the one-shot that is a Max move or a Z move. We use Crafty Shield to protect our entire team from opposing status moves this turn, which luckily enough doesn't include status moves we use on ourselves. Next, all our Prankster users jump into the mix. Our Whimsicott uses Z Safeguard. Why the Z version specifically? Well, normally Safeguard can be stolen by Snatch, but the Z versions of moves behave differently, so the effects are immune to Snatch. And yes, this still applies even if they try to use Z Snatch themselves, which they will likely use anyway, but we'll get to that later. Next, we skill swap onto our Chill Cheeto, allowing it to immediately use After You, which it uses on our G-Max Kingler, allowing it to use Max Foam right away, reducing the entire team of Lions to -2 speed. Next, we also skill swap Prankster onto our Ion Deluge user, making it use Ion Deluge right away, turning all normal type moves into electric type for the rest of the turn. And then our Quick Attack users all hit Electivire, and since this attack is now an electric type, they boost it to a humble +5 speed, with Murkrow using Perish Song to not only start the Perish count, but to bring Electivire to the max +6 speed. Last but not least, our good friend Klefki activates Magic Room, disabling those pesky Quick Claws in future turns. Now we're finally on Priority 0, where all those Quick Claws that activated earlier can take effect. Too bad that it doesn't matter anymore. We only have 4 Pokemon that haven't yet performed their role. A hyper-fast Dig user that's immune to Perish Song, a Trick Room user, an After You user, and a Scary Face user with Prankster. All 4 of these Pokemon use Endure, so they're effectively immune to damage this turn. And then Crafty Shield prevents all of the status moves that could affect them, like Taunt, Attract, Entrainment, Yawn, or Swagger. And they can't give us status effects with attacking moves like Body Slam or Flare Blitz because of Safeguard. Though we could use Misty Terrain instead, they'd be able to use max moves to change the terrain so it won't be permanent, while Safeguard lasts the whole battle. And Endure isn't like Sturdy or Focus Sash. Multi-hits aren't going to cut it. Aside from reducing them to 1 HP, there's absolutely no way to do anything that will matter to these 4 Pokemon. At least not this turn. That's not going to stop the Pyroars from preparing for future turns though, which they'll do by using Max Airstream to buff them all by +1 speed, have a bunch of Pyroars use Flame Charge for another +1, And since it's not like they can get any important kills with the Z move, we can say one of those snatching lions use Z Snatch, which gives them +3 speed instead of flame charges +1. This means many lions are currently back to base speed, and one really fast lion is at +2 speed by the end of turn 1. Funny thing about Z Snatch is that only one lion can do it. And in order for that lion to be actionable on turn 2, they need to do it on turn 1, which means we'll know exactly which Pyroar did it. So our first action in turn 2 is Prankster Scary Face on that particular Pyroar, bringing every lion back to base speed, mwahahaha, which means after our supersonic speedy Electivire uses Dig, our Swooper is just barely fast enough to outspeed the Pyroars with an After You, using it on our Trick Room user to completely ignore its -7 priority to reverse the speed of everything on the field. Fast is slow, and slow is fast, which means our Electivire is very slow. If you've seen the last video, you probably know where this is going. For the rest of turn 2, the lions are forced to waste their moves, using another Max Airstream and another set of flame charges to bring the fast lions to +2 speed. They can technically use Max Strike now to slow us down, which they couldn't on turn 1 thanks to Ion Deluge, but I've done the math, it doesn't matter. They need to reach the same speed stage as Electivire by turn 3 to outspeed it, regardless of how they do it. Turn 3 rolls around, and after another Max Airstream, the fastest actionable lions are at +3 speed. Hypothetically, if the Z Snatch user waited until turn 2 to use it, that Pyroar would be at +5 speed right now, the absolute highest they could get to by this point. Too bad we're at +6, which means once again, every single Pyroar has to waste their moves throughout the entire turn, with Electivire finally popping out at the very end. Turn 4, all we gotta do is endure again. Checkmate. Yeah, Crafty Shield isn't active anymore, so they can hit us with status moves, but none of them matter anymore. Taunt and Attract won't do anything because we've already acted this turn, Entrainment won't do anything because we're already max speeded and won't add the perish count back, and they can't burn, poison, or sleep because Safeguard is still active. They can't even kill us with a max move or a Z move because it still doesn't bypass Endure. Maybe in Pokemon Master Sex, but not here. Before you ask, no, Max Quake doesn't hit through Dig. No, Bulldoze doesn't hit through Dig either. Swift used to hit through Dig in Gen 1, but this is not Gen 1 rules. Pyroar isn't even Gen 1 Pokemon. No matter what the Lions do, they can't win. The battle is finally over. So that's it for this video. If I missed anything, be sure to correct me in the comments, give me all that juicy interaction. I also have YouTube memberships now with all kinds of benefits like, emotes, a badge, the list goes on. I really want to start streaming and uploading full time, and every bit of support helps me do that sooner. So if you got $1 and want to support the channel a little bit extra, I would greatly appreciate it. Do all the algorithm crap.